playoffs last year?
Welcome to Sports for Supper, live from Sammy's Restaurant at 202 U.S. Highway 90 East in Castroville. Sports for Supper, a weekly look at what's happening in area sports. And now, along with Maury Stein, Dwayne Garza, and Jeff Stivers, here's the host of Sports for Supper, Jared Lucky.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sports for Supper at Sammy's. This is our 8th edition of the show this year. I'm Jared Lucky, along here with Maury Stein and Jeff Stivers, and we are going to have Coach Norm Gallion on here tonight with boys basketball, and then we're going to have a couple of the players on to talk to us, and then we'll go into football a little later on as they're taking on Lockhart this week. Coach Gallion, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate you being here with us. So this is your second year now at Medina Valley. Tell us a little bit about, your first season here and what you're kind of looking at this year.
Well, the first season, of course, is a big learning environment for me and the players because I'm bringing in new things and they're having to learn new things and figure out what I want. And we're a slow starting team in the beginning of last season, but we kind of got everything clicking towards the end. And this year is a little bit easier as far as practices and getting everything going because they know what I expect and they've kind of been in my system for a year. So it's a little smoother transition from the off season to in season this year than it was last year.
Do you have what did you lose from last year, and what do you have coming up this year from JV or moving into the district?
Yeah, we lost 5 seniors, and we lost a little bit of athleticism in Christian Romo, and then a little bit of just some veteran leadership that we had last year. But this year we really we have higher expectations this year because the guys that are coming back have, like I said, have been in my system for a year, and if we get a couple of football guys that we expect to get, we'll replace that size that Romo had, and I think we'll replace we'll have a little toughness as well. We'll probably be a little bigger than we were last year, so we're kind of excited about that.
You'll have Tristan Hill
coming back.
Tymir,
and then Joe Tarvin is gonna be with us this year. So
he had the injury last year.
He was injured, and Tristan didn't play last year because the whole the COVID thing and everything. He didn't get a chance to play with us, but Tristan is a kid that I had as a freshman at Lee High School when I was still at Lee. So we know each other, and he knows a lot about me, and so we're excited about those guys coming up, and I think we'll be in good shape.
You mentioned losing Mr. Romo, but you're going to get back Joe Tarvin, who wasn't there last year with the injury.
Right.
So as far as the under the basket with the football players and the team that you have, the nucleus you have coming back.
Yeah.
Rebounds shouldn't be a problem.
That's what I mean. I think we're going to be better off. I mean, Christian was a great athlete and could get up and down the floor, but he was a pretty thin guy, and but he did a lot of things for us. He was Defensive Player of the Year for the district last year. And so we're gonna miss that part of it, but I think with the size and the strength that we're getting from Joe and Tymir, that's gonna be big for us.
We kind of joked last year every game we did together. It seemed like he got called for
A lot of
one or
ticky-tack
two
fouls.
ticky-tack
Oh,
fouls
yeah.
and put him in foul
Yeah.
trouble every single game. And it's like, how can you keep picking on
Yeah,
him
yeah.
game after game after game?
Well, he was
It
all
was like he had a target on his back. He was going to get called if he didn't touch the guy or not. If
Yeah.
somebody tripped and he was standing there,
Yeah.
he was going to get
It
the
felt
foul.
like that
It
sometimes.
did.
Yeah.
he was kind of a magnet for fouls, and I think he was that way throughout his career. But he was just all arms and legs. So referees see those arms and those legs just flying around, and they assume that he had to have hit somebody, and so that hurt him, and I think one reason why we did better later in the year is because he got away from that. He didn't get in foul trouble as often in the latter part of the year as he did in the beginning of the year. So, those two quick fouls in the first quarter weren't happening later in the year. And so that helped him stay on the floor, and that helped us, as a team.
Tell us a little bit about when do practices start? When's your first game? When is all that coming up?
Yeah,
for you?
well, we start practice a week from today. We start October 27th is our first official day of practice. And then our first game is going to be November 12th, that Friday, and we will open up with Lee High School at Lee, and then we go from there.
What does the district look like this year?
I think the district is going to be a little bit down from what it was last year. Okay. McCullum was a really tough team last year, and they lost a bunch of seniors. Same with Harlandale. They were a tough team last year, and they lost a bunch of seniors. So I think we should definitely compete for a spot in the playoffs. If not, our goal every year is to win a district championship, and then our next goal is to get in the playoffs at some spot. And I think we have if the pieces fall together and everybody, we stay healthy and everything, I think we have a good chance of competing for a district championship this year.
You could see the improvement and the young men buying into your system
right
as the season went on.
Yeah.
What were the difference in changes as far as on the offensive side of it? What offense did you bring in? What did you have to let the young men build into and buy into your system? What was different than what they were doing, the offense, and what they were doing before?
Well, what they were doing before, I think, was there was one or two guys that had to touch the ball every possession. And, which I can see why they wanted to do that. But in my system, I don't designate a guy that has to take this shot or has to take that shot. There's 5 guys out there that have an opportunity to score on every possession. And, of course, we want to get the ball up and down the floor as quick as we can and take the first good shot we can find, we're going to take that shot. And because we drill that on a daily basis, getting the ball up the floor, advancing the ball, and getting to that open area as fast as we can. And I don't think in the past, they wanted, that wasn't the style that they were playing. So that was a big change for them, to get the ball up the floor quickly and look to advance the ball to the next open guy, and let's get it up and let's go.
I know that's what Jared was telling me. He does most of the play-by-play for the boys, and he was telling me it's different than in the past because, as you mentioned, in the past there was one or two guys that you said had to touch the ball no matter whether it was a fast break or not, and there wasn't a open or contested shot that they didn't like, and the team won and lost by how those one or two players played. And this past year was different. It was a team. You got everybody involved. There wasn't, hey, just because this young man isn't on tonight that we can't win.
Right.
And that's what it was. That's what it felt like the previous years, that you had to rely on one person because everything funneled through the one individual.
Well,
and not saying that he wasn't a good ball player.
Right. Oh, no. It's just a different philosophy, a different style. And I think out of the 12 guys that finished on varsity, I think 8 of them at some time during the season were the leading scorer in the game. So, we're trying to get guys touches with the basketball, and we're trying to instill confidence in them that they can all score, which they can. And so pretty much everybody has a green light. If they're open, and our philosophy is a good shot is one that's within what we're trying to do within our offense, one that's in rhythm and one that has rebounders. So if you have that shot and the other two parts are fulfilled, then take the shot, And so, I don't tell anybody very often that was a bad shot because, the game has changed over time. And so, nowadays we're, used to we wanted to get layups. Well, now, if the three-point shot is open, you better take it or I'm going to ask you why you didn't. So it's a fast-paced game, and we want to get up as many shots as we can during that game. And everybody has the green light as long as it's a good shot. As far as we say a good shot is, then they should be ready and willing to take it.
Did you find last year when you brought more of a run and gun style offense? Did you find that the conditioning just wasn't quite there for the first half of the season, and maybe that picked up a little bit, and that's part of the reason you had a little more success down the stretch?
Yeah, obviously you got to get into game shape.
Yeah.
Practice. You can get into practice shape, but until you get into a game, it's a whole the adrenaline and everything. The emotions are going. It's a whole different kind of tempo, and so. I think one thing was, we finally got into really good game shape, but I also think that they were a little bit, change is always hard.
Yeah.
And so that change was a little difficult for them to buy into, and so they were a little hesitant to do what I wanted them to do right away. And I think as the season progressed, they felt more comfortable in what we were trying to do, and they felt more comfortable with me, and so that made things flow a little easier.
And that's a huge plus coming into this year, and you talked about that earlier, is that the team knows what you expect from them now, and they know kind of what to expect from you now and what they're expected to do. So that's a big plus coming into a season, knowing that now.
Yeah.
Do you have any big tournaments lined up before district play?
We're going to go to Austin. We're going to play in the Austin Anderson tournament, and that is, from what I've never been there. But I hear it's a really good tournament, and there's been some really good competition there. And then we're going to be in the San Antonio Independent School District tournament, and I've been in that one for years and years, and it's always a good tournament. Get to play in. Usually they play it at Lanier, which has a really nice facility, and at the Alamo Convocation Center, which is probably my favorite gym in the San Antonio area. I love that gym. And we're also going to get to play at Burbank when we're there. So, which is they rebuilt their gym and it's really nice. So, it's always a good tournament. And I went with 2 tournaments this year versus 3, because the first tournament is always the first weekend of the year of the season, and it kind of just beats you up because you normally those tournaments usually are 5 games guaranteed, and that's to play 5 games in 3 days in the first week of the year. It's really hard on the bodies and everything. So I decided I'd leave that tournament out and just go with 2 tournaments this year.
Is there anyone on the schedule that you're going to be playing? Who do you kind of have scheduled before district starts that you know of?
We're going to play Lee High School to open up with them, and then we're going to play Davenport that we played last year. We're going to play Madison High School. We're going to play Antonian, which was a defending state champion in TAPS last year, and we're going to play South San. So we have a really good non-district schedule, and it'll be tough. We might lose a couple, but that's okay because I've been telling them since August, hey, the non-district schedule, the games matter, but they don't count. These are games to make us better, and to show us what we need to do to get better, and they're going to help us.
Yeah, you learn a lot more from a close ball game than you do from a blowout victory.
Yeah.
You learn about your team and what they're capable of.
Even if it's a close loss, you still know
learn.
you can go back to the chalkboard and say, okay, we'd have just executed this right here.
Yep.
7-0 run wouldn't have been 7-0. It'd have been 5-2. So.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. We
Yeah.
appreciate you being here. Good luck this year, and we look forward to seeing you guys play this year.
Well, I appreciate y'all doing this and coming and coming to the games and letting everybody hear what we're doing. If they can't be there, I hope we get a lot of people in the stands, but if they can't, then they have you to listen to. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we're going to come back with a couple of the players here and talk to them for a little while. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
Sammy's Restaurant and Havy's Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Havy's Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Havy's Alsatian Bakery, online at havysbakery.com. Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tondre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tondre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Welcome back to Sports for Supper, as we just had Coach Gallion on talking about the basketball season coming up, and now we're going to be joined by a couple of the players, and he brought two young men with him tonight, and we'll start. If you'll tell us your name, number, position, your year in school, we'll start with that.
My name is George Valdez Jr. I'm a point guard, number 3, Medina Valley, class of 2022, 12th grader.
And so, you've been on the varsity for were you on there as a freshman?
No, sir.
You were on there as a sophomore, though, right?
No.
You weren't? I thought I watched you play 2 years already. Yeah. But anyway, you came off the bench more last year, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were a big boost off the bench. I watched a few games where there were some games where you were 4 for 5 for 3 and things like that. Are you going to be starting this year, or are you going to be coming off the bench this year?
I should be starting this year.
And tell us a little bit about trying to transition into that. What's the biggest difference starting a game versus coming off the bench?
Well, starting the game, I have a better chance of probably scoring more, getting more points up for the team and everything. And come off the bench, there's already points on the board and everything like that. I'll come off not warm basically.
Yeah.
Just legs still just not warm yet, so that would be a big difference.
Yeah, and how hard is that trying, if you got a game and you all try to run up and down the floor, how hard is that to get into the rhythm of that game when you've been on the bench?
It's kind of hard for my legs to get warm.
So being the point guard and all in an offense like you guys run where you want to go quickly, what's going through your head when you get the ball in your hands? Are you looking for somebody? You're looking to move the ball up the floor? What are you looking for first?
Looking forward to push the ball forward, get it over, and looking to see whoever's open down court and making sure let's get our things right before the defense sets up. And
do y'all, you're looking for points as fast as you can, but when that doesn't happen because let's say their defense is back, do y'all set plays, things like that, or do y'all just kind of?
Yeah, we come back and set into plays.
I noticed a lot of times last year you talked about coming off the bench, but it seemed like when you would come in, you would always have the responsibility of covering the player on the other team that was hot. You would kind of, I consider you last year as a defensive stopper also, because when the other team had somebody that was hot, it was your responsibility to come in and make sure that stopped. And your footwork is so good. What do you attribute that to? What do you do to work on your feet, especially from side to side, and you're guarding a person?
Oh, well, last year, before basketball season, I was in football, so I would always be outside doing the ladders, footwork like that, and then I'm always like running up and down. I did track, so that also helped me.
Are you doing track again this year? Do you still do that?
Yes, sir. I'm about to do it this year.
You do what? What do you run? What events?
This year I want to do like triple jump, long jump, and probably the 400.
Who would be the off guard in the offense this year?
Iverson, and I would probably say Tristan or Ace.
And
one of
is Tamir the enforcer
Yes.
out there?
Yeah, he's a big body.
So how confident was it last year when you have Christian under there that is taller than anybody else? What presence does that do for you, knowing that, hey, if I drive in and they come on me, I dump it to him right under the middle. You'll have that again this year with Joe Tarvin coming back and Tamir. What does that do for you as far as when you want to drive in and make something happen?
It gives me a better advantage, a better scoring opposite. Because, like, say if I'm driving and I get stopped, they're right there, and their presence is big because how big they are. So it's a layup real easy for them.
So on a fast break, is it up to you whether you're going to take it all the way or Coach Gallion say, okay, we want to slow it down? When you see a break, do you have, I guess,
free range
to make it happen from coast to coast?
Yes. If it's like time wise, like where it's like say 24 seconds or something, I'll pull it back so I can hold the ball, so we don't have to like give them another possession to score again. But if it's just regular time, I'm gonna take it all the way.
Right. And you got any plans after high school?
Go to college for basketball.
Okay.
Anybody looking at you right now? Any
I
offers?
have 8 offers right now.
Wow,
Great.
that's awesome.
Great.
Yep. Well, thanks for talking to us, and we're going to move to the next young man that's here with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you play this year. And if you'll tell us your name, number, position, all that good stuff.
I'm Iverson McCray. I'm a shooting guard, and I'm number 1. I'm class of 2022, and I go to Medina Valley, same as him.
And so tell us a little bit about, Coach Gallion came in last year. It's a little bit different than what you had the year before. Tell us a little bit about how that transition went and where you're at now as a team.
Well, the transition, because I had went here freshman year, and I played on the freshman team. And then sophomore season, I actually left, and I went and I played for a private school. It was called Texas Military Institute. But then I came back last year, and getting into the offense was actually pretty easy because it was just like simple run and gun offense. And I'm pretty kind of athletic, and so I was already able to like run down the floor and be able to keep up with the offense. And so it was a pretty fun offense to run, getting up and down the court pretty quick.
So that was an easy transition for you because you weren't in the system Medina Valley had the year before. So tell us a little bit about, expectations this year for the team. What are y'all's goals?
Our goals this year are to get that district championship and to go as far as we can in the playoffs and just win, period.
What, in as far as the offense, you're the shooting guard. He'll be bringing who after the shot is made, who will be doing the inbound? Will you be doing the inbounds pass?
Sometimes, but preferably probably the post would probably inbound it like Joe or Tamir, one of the two, to get into our offense, get in our transition.
So when he has the ball and you're going down there, do you have an option of which side you're going on, or which is your strongest? Would you rather drive, being you're right-handed? You're left-handed, correct?
I'm
He's
also
left-handed too.
left-handed.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
wow.
left-handed too.
Okay.
So it's honestly, it doesn't really matter the side because I could usually play with both of my hands. I admit that I'm a strong driver to my left, but either way, it doesn't matter. If he wants to go to the left, I just kind of space out to the right, just to set up the offense.
Do you feel sometimes like being left-handed gives you a little bit of advantage because the majority of players are right-handed and people are used to defending that a little more?
Yeah, sometimes it does feel like that because they're kind of coming into it not really know how to play a left-hander, and it might confuse them a little bit. But yeah, it does kind of give me an advantage.
Because everybody likes to play the ball hand.
Yeah.
And I've watched both of y'all, and it's really not much of a difference when you dribble down the court. Y'all can dribble just as good as the right hand as the left hand. Would you be afraid to go up and take a shot with the right hand under pressure if you needed to?
Around the rim?
Around the rim or where you're contested?
No, I'll just take what the defense gives me, and whatever's open is open. I'll take it.
So you both of you, I've seen y'all pop threes. You like shooting from outside, both of y'all?
Yeah, we both enjoy shooting. It's nice.
And you
Well, they complement each other perfect.
So
Yeah.
do you do any other sports other than basketball?
I also run track.
What
and,
events do you do there?
Last year I did triple jump and long jump, and also ran the 2x4.
Okay.
And I did pretty well. I almost went to state last year, so I'm hoping to go to state this year for triple jump. See how it rolls out.
And any plans after high school?
I probably want to see if I could get any offers, to try and play basketball or run track for college. But if that doesn't happen, I'll probably just, try to go to a college of my choice and get a degree.
Cool. Anything else, Maury?
You don't just need to say two for one, right? When you go to the same place and keep the. One other question, and it's for both y'all. What
Yes, sir.
do y'all play off-season basketball?
Yes, sir.
Is there a
Is it a league
team or is it a league or are
like
you
select
are you
ball
able to
kind of
play
thing?
with whoever you want? Or how does that work?
Well, because we kind of had a sort of league with MV. We kind of I guess the whole team kind of played other schools around us. But I didn't really play any AAU or anything like that this summer. I don't know if he did, but yeah, I did. But yeah.
You mentioned that you participate in track. What events?
He did triple jump.
Triple
long
jump
right?
also?
Yep.
Good.
So, guys, thanks for joining us. Good luck this year, and
we want to see buckets full of basketballs.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back with Coach Crisp and the football. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
Double T Outfitters offers deer, dove, turkey, quail, and exotic hunts in Southwest Texas on over 20,000 low-fenced acres. They facilitate professional guide services, lodging, and fantastic meals while providing the best in Southwest hunting. Contact Double T Outfitters to find out details about their current package hunts. Contact owner Brett Ferguson at 210-413-1597 or online at doubleThunting.com. Sammy's Restaurant and Habeas Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Habeas Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Habeas Alsatian Bakery, online at habeasbakery.com. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tandre, Tondre-Gwynn.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Welcome back to Sports for Supper, as we just had the men's basketball team on. Talked to Coach Gallion a little bit and a couple of the players, good interviews, and now we're going to have Coach Crisp on here as the Panthers are going to travel to Lockhart, first road game since the second week of the season. And, Coach, tell us a little bit about what it's going to be like being away from Medina Valley, because you've been here for 5 games in a row now.
Yeah, it'll be a little different, but to be honest with you, it's kind of nice because those home games are a lot of work. There's a lot of work that goes into making sure everything's the way it's supposed to be, and it kind of adds a little bit on your plate. I'm looking forward to hopping on a bus and taking a long trip there. So ought to be all right. Weather's getting nice, and we still got plenty ahead of us to look forward to. So we're looking to make something happen here late.
Yeah, but you're coming off a loss to Alamo Heights, but they're a very good football team. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
Now you got 3 games left. You still have a very good shot of making the playoffs. Just tell us what your focus is now going into this game.
The focus is what's immediately in front of us, and that's we've been stressing it all week, and the windshield's bigger than the rearview mirror for a reason, and so we got to keep looking forward, pushing forward. The last 3 teams that we play are all 4 of us that have yet to play, or that we have yet to play, are sitting at the bottom. Alamo Heights and Bernie Champion are probably going to finish 1-2, and so a couple wins, we've got a postseason berth, and we run the table here at the end. It, may be difficult, but could end up finishing higher than we did last year. Could end up in a 3rd place spot still, and then there's a whole new season that goes on after that. And so that's what we're looking to play for, is to try to get that extra week. And but it happens one game at a time. We got to take care of business Friday.
You make the playoffs, and it's just like you start district play. Everybody's 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one team that's going to win their last game, and that's going to be the state champion. Somebody else is going to lose. How has the focus been to start the week? Is it everybody back to a positive note? Everybody's.
I felt like by today we were finally getting to that point. It's tough to come off a loss like we just had, and to go into this week kind of feeling like you just keep getting kicked when you're down. But we've been pushing, and I feel like we've got a good game plan. It's a matter of executing. And I think, last week, as bad as things looked, some of those things that have been haunting us for weeks and weeks on end, I think we had 2 procedure penalties that we would have had a lot more before, and things like that. And we were outmanned, last week. It didn't matter. They had some real guys out there, so we didn't quit, never do. This week we've got a lot better shot here, and so I'm thinking we ought to be able to move the ball against these guys. They have 2 guys on their offense that can get things done, and so we can slow them down and we can execute and play simple, play fast, have a good chance of getting this one.
I know the last few years against Lockhart, it's come down to the end of the ball game,
Mm-hmm.
in both of them. Tell us a little bit about their offense. Are they going to run the football more? Are they balanced? Kind of what are we going to see from them?
I think we'll primarily see more running game out of them. Their quarterback and the running back both are dangerous, and they've got a big offensive line. They do a lot of different things formationally to try to get you off balance. Some tackle over stuff. They'll shift. Shift their strength from one side to the other, move guys around, and it's all smoke and mirrors. It's going to be the quarterback or the running back for the most part, and then they'll try to hit you deep. They're not unlike us in their kind of their philosophy and what they're doing. They're going to run more to set up their pass, and then they have some guys back there that are pretty dangerous. So defensively, though, I think that's probably, if they have a weakness, that's where it's at, and I think that we can do some things against them.
That's what I was going to say. Is we've seen other teams have been able to put up a lot of points against their defense. This might be a good opportunity for your offense to put some more points up on the board and kind of get some momentum going forward.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like this is the perfect game, being the first of the next three.
Right. Yeah, I think that's been the focus for us all week is having positive plays and be able to put things together is what we really want to do. I don't want to get into a track meet with these guys. It could end up that could be tough, but we got to be efficient, execute, and finish drives. And I think we can do it this week if we just stay focused and play fast.
What is the difference on a Friday as far as getting the team ready when you're at home, or you have to leave at 2 or 3 o'clock? How does that affect the pregame situation? Is it that much difference, or do you have the same amount of time with the team before the game starts?
We try to build the itinerary so that when we arrive, it's not much different than when we were getting out of school there and for a home game. That's the way I try to, so that things stay as much the same as possible. Now you can't do that. Now Friday's going to even be more different because we don't have school Friday, and so we're off on Friday, and so we're going to bring the kids up a little bit, about an hour before our departure time, so that we can kind of do what we would do during the athletic period. Kind of go through that process of our walkthrough and our meetings, and make sure we hand our equipment out. We'll get the meals out to them like we normally do, and then we'll load the bus and we'll take that trip. And when we get there, then that process of preparing for the game will start just like it normally will. So it's just a matter of figuring out, working backwards from starting with the kickoff and working backwards, and how your itinerary kind of works out, and trying to keep as much the same as possible. Yeah.
At the risk of sounding like a dumb butt here, why are y'all off school Friday?
They built it in last year in our schedule to try to kind of create some. This was a district, thing. Yeah, the whole district's off, but
I got you.
Because we, in the spring there's a whole lot of days off. I think they maybe moved one. I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Because I was like, I only remember Columbus Day in October, so I was like, do they had some holiday that I'm not thinking about here?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't losing something there.
Yeah, it was a student and staff holiday that they had asked us. I think there were two options. One was going to be spring, one was going to be fall, and they kind of overwhelmingly chose the fall.
Is this the first time you've had to prepare for a football game on a day that you don't have school, unless you played on a Saturday sometime? But I mean,
no. Last year we had to play over Thanksgiving. And so
that's right. That's right on that Friday. Yeah, that's right.
Because we had to spend a whole week of practice.
Pushed the season back. That's right.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal. We just got to hoping the guys don't sleep in till noon. That'll throw you off your routine.
Not get going.
Just to go back to the last time we were at Lockhart, and you were explaining kind of what offense that they were running. It was kind of basically the same thing that we saw 2 years ago, as they were run heavy that year also. And it came down
that
to
wing tee.
And it came down to a.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago. Yeah.
We haven't been there in 3 years. Yeah. So Coach Mavis took over. He and I came in. He came into Lockhart the same time I got the job here, and so that first year that we played was here, and that was that bad snap that went back the other direction for the game changer.
Yeah, that has been 3 years, because that's when we had the lightning delay down there. We didn't get out of there till like 11:45 or
so. Yeah. My wife was nice enough to bring me one of those beef ribs from Black's. It was a much needed.
Well, we didn't get out of there in time to get what we really wanted to enjoy after the game, because it was after 12 o'clock. We couldn't buy soda water after 12, so that goes. But we saw it again last week, Coach, and the emphasis that we had going into last week was finish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's got to be the same, because there was, even though in that defeat there was positives that came out of that. The pre-snap penalties, there was 2 of them.
Yep.
Where in the past, if you lose a game to that magnitude, usually there's 4 or 5 that are costly. I mean, that stopped. It seems like if something is going to go wrong, it snowballs, and it has.
Yeah, it has for us this year. And, you think eventually you're going to – I feel like I'm watching one of them Ben Stiller movies sometimes, because the guy just can't – it's like he's always doing something wrong. It's like, man, alive.
And it just gets worse.
Yeah. But at some point, that has to, you got to believe that has to end. And I think we cleaned up a lot of things, and I think our kids are starting to kind of settle in as long as that's taken. But I'm speaking offensively, especially. That seems to be where most of our jitters have been. But I think defensively we're going to be able to handle them. There's nothing that we can't. They are explosive, but if we can kind of keep them in front of us and slow them down and make them earn every yard like we have done in the past, and then we can just be efficient and do our job and kind of stay calm, we're going to be okay. I think it will be it's not going to be a runaway game by any stretch of, it's going to be something we're going to have to fight for, but
we're grind ready. It out kind of win. And, a season can turn around. All it takes is one big play from somebody making something happen, to turn your whole year around. That's all it takes.
And has there been one thing this year as far as district play has started, has there been one thing that has caught the coaches by, wow, I didn't expect this team to be as good as they are, or I didn't expect the situation, to be sitting, 3 games left. You got it, the whole season is still in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, you win 2 out of 3 you're in, you win 3 out of 3, and that's a third place, second or third place.
Might
finish.
even be second, depending on.
It depends on how things shake out. Yeah.
It's still there. It's
still
for the taking.
It's a hard thing to convince a 16 and 17-year-old kid that they're still. But us old guys, we know there's a lot to look forward to, and like I told the guys today, as we had a little meeting this morning. I said, the last thing you want to do when you're walking through hell is stop. You gotta keep going, because otherwise that's where you're at.
You're done.
Yeah. So I think we're ready. I think the kids are, they understand that it's still there, and we'll see on Friday we get out there and rock and roll.
And you said that these are 15, 16, 17-year-old young men, but you said to instill them. There's 50 and 60. 70-year-old people up in the stands that don't believe either. So, I mean, for them to not give up and to keep playing, that's all you can ask. And it was not fun to watch, but it actually was interesting to see a lot of the new guys out there at the end playing on one side of the ball or the other. There was no quit.
Yeah.
I mean, they still had the pride out there that, hey, you're not going to score. I don't care if I've played 3 snaps or 15.
Yep.
And that's all you can expect.
Yeah, our kids have always had heart. You can't ever doubt that about our kids, and that's what's got us anywhere. I think anytime we played anyone, because whether it's Bernie Chain, I don't know where these kids come from that they get. These 6'7" monsters and all this stuff that you see walking out on the field. I don't see a lot of those rolling through our hallways, but it don't matter. It's not that cliche. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the fight in the dog, and we got some dogs with plenty of fight in them, and so. Hopefully we can
just need to sharpen their teeth a little bit.
We do, yeah. Well, some of them are still, they're still cutting their baby teeth out. So we're working on that.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Good luck on Friday night. We'll see you down in Lockhart, and hopefully Panthers get that first district win. Yeah. And we're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we're going to talk to a couple of the players that Coach Chris brought with him here tonight. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in just a moment.
Double T Outfitters offers deer, dove, turkey, quail, and exotic hunts in Southwest Texas on over 20,000 low-fenced acres. They facilitate professional guide services, lodging, and fantastic meals while providing the best in Southwest hunting. Contact Double T Outfitters to find out details about their current package hunts. Contact owner Brett Ferguson at 210-413-1597 or online at doubleThunting.com.
Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store. With 12 area locations, Valley Mart is always right around the corner. Fuel yourself and your vehicle with quality branded gas and diesel, snacks, and fountain drinks. Always convenient, well lit with clean restrooms. Valley Mart, family owned and operated since 1984, and a proud supporter of Medina Valley athletics and area youth sports for over 30 years.
Sammy's Restaurant and Habeas Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Habeas Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Habeas Alsatian Bakery, online at habeasbakery.com. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tandre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Welcome back to Sports for Supper, as we are joined by a couple of the offensive linemen, right? Both of y'all. And we'll start with the young man down here on the right. You'll tell us name, number, position, all that.
Okay, so I'm Sid Blythe, number 76, center for Medina Valley.
And, okay, so talk to us a little bit. When you're the center, you're responsible for blocking assignments and all that kind of stuff for the line. Tell us a little bit about what you're looking for when you come to the line.
So when I'm coming to the line, I'm looking for the formation first, just to see how I'm going to be blocking during the play. And they play a lot of three-down linemen, so I'm going to be single on the nose quite a bit this game. And he's a big guy, 6'5", 275, but I'm confident I can handle him.
And they were lined up over you with Alamo Heights too. They had a three-man front also.
Yeah, I took care of that nose tackle pretty good.
So tell us a little bit about, you have some experience with that. How much different is Lockhart's defense from what you saw last week?
They're going to not as much speed, obviously. Alamo Heights is a very good team. They're still going to play hard, and I'm still going to have to do my job just to take care of that nose tackle. He's still a big guy. You got to respect that.
And what would you rather? You like to pass block or run block more?
Honestly, pass block, but I can do either. I can take care of my job doing pass.
Why do you like to pass block? What's
it gives me a little more time to think, and it's not the violence that comes with run blocking. Makes you have to think really fast. Pass blocking, I can take my time a little more, and honestly, just my technique is good at pass blocking. So
that step back you take kind of gives you that little bit of time to look at what's coming at you. I would imagine. Yeah.
Were you the center last year also, or is this year?
No, this is my first year. I just transferred from Brennan.
Okay.
I was starting center and guard over there, and then this year I would have been starting left tackle, but my junior year I was out the whole year because I had to get 2 knee surgeries.
Wow. So
I transferred here, and now I'm playing O-line in Medina Valley.
Well, you missed some time this year.
I did. I had an injury and just some unfortunate things happening, but I'm back now, and I'm fully committed.
So how this young man that's going to be over you, the nose guard, is he bigger than the nose guard from?
I think he's
the
taller.
Bernie guy was actually bigger than the Alamo Heights one, correct?
Yeah, but we handled him pretty good.
Yeah.
Me and CJ who was playing center at that game. I was playing guard. So
I was going to say, because I don't, you were not, he was not over you, the Bernie guy. You were the guard.
yeah, I
and,
was playing guard.
Okay. But what is is it a different, which it probably is, but is it a different key that you're looking at when you're a guard other than the center? Or what are you looking at that's different when you're lined up in the guard position than you're lined up at the center position?
When I'm lined up at guard, I'm going to be looking to help the center and the tackle a lot more. And because playing these three-man fronts is not going to be really anybody on top of me. So I'm going to be looking to either give the center some help or the left tackle some help. And but the last game, obviously, I was solo on the nose tackle the whole time, and I handled him the whole game.
When you step back to block and you see those three linemen come at you, what changes when are you looking in that second level to see if those linebackers are coming down, like on pass blocking and things like that? What are you looking for there?
So basically, in our pass blocking scheme, I'm looking at my backside gap first, and then if nobody's there, I'm going to come back and help with the nose. But mainly on the last game, I was just taking the nose because they weren't blitzing any linebackers up the A gap on me a whole lot.
Yeah.
So you're talking when you're the center, and you see it. You know, I can't see it that much watching, but are you kind of saying, okay, this guy is the Mike, this guy, you know, are you kind of pointing out to your other linemen what the blocking scheme is according to how they set up against you?
We'll do some stuff like that, but right now I'm not really calling out Mike or anything like that. We're just, as the play goes on, certain people will come off their blocks and pick up the mic, or if we have a certain type of block that we need to call on a certain play, I'll call that, but we're not necessarily calling out the mic right now.
So when the play comes in from the sidelines, Nick or Asiel, do they have an option of changing, or do you know when it's called in from the sidelines in the huddle what's going to be, or is there something that might change if they look across and see the defense in a different formation than what you think the play is going to work?
Right now, we're running the play, and we'll change as we go. And the defense that they're in, we'll call different plays once we go to a new huddle, and after we've ran the last play.
Yeah.
So which position do you like best, center or guard?
I like any because I could play any.
If you had a choice, which
right now center.
You like center?
It gives me a lot more control over the O-line, and it's more of a leadership role right now that I feel comfortable in.
Do you do any other sports other than football?
Football is actually my second sport. I'm mainly a powerlifter.
Okay.
So
when that's not going on right now, right? That's a spring kind of thing?
That's after.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I have to get shoulder surgery after the season. So.
Oh, lovely.
No.
Yeah.
So would you be ready for powerlifting?
Probably not, but I powerlift outside of school, so I have all the time in the world.
Which is your strongest lift?
Squat.
If you have to make up the pounds, which
technically deadlift, but my best is squat in comparison to a lot of other people because I squatted 540 when I was 16.
Wow.
Jesus.
So that's why you like playing on the line and
yeah, I can get a lot of leg drive.
Well, we got to ask you to make a prediction. They always do. How many pancake blocks can we look to see from you this week?
From me, let's see. I've been averaging 4 or 5 a game. I think my lowest right now is like 2. Hopefully.
We're going to go over that number?
Hopefully.
Good.
Hopefully over 5.
Good. That
awesome.
Sounds good.
Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck on Friday night, and we'll move the mic down. And if you'll do the same, I know you were here last year, but tell us your name and number, position, all that.
I'm James Fox, number 60. I'm the right guard.
And so you're lined up next to him on the line. What are you looking at when you come to the line of scrimmage, especially in this game against Lockhart?
Well, I see that they do a 3-man front, and so I really don't get someone really over me unless, like, the closest I'll get is a 3. So if anything, I'll be looking to either help or go up to backer.
And so let's talk about, like, running plays for a second. So, like, they bring in a running play. Regardless of whether it's coming right behind you or outside, you know, there's some times where you're going to block down to a player, go to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, what is that something that you just have to study plays and know, okay, on this play I'm blocking, you know, their tackle down here, or I'm going to the linebacker, or are you just looking for somebody to put a helmet on?
Mostly I just put a helmet on to either I just take my step and wherever that takes me, I'll block.
Have you been steady at right tackle all year, or because of some of the injuries, have you been at other spots, or what is right guard is your normal spot?
Right
What
guard.
other spots have you played this year on the line?
This year I actually only stayed at right guard.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't get really moved around.
I know, like last year and stuff, a lot of players got moved around. I think there were some injuries
there
last
was
year
a
and things
bunch
where
of injuries
everyone
last
got
year.
moved around.
Last year I was the left side guard.
Yeah.
You were the blind side. Is that
What?
what
So
you call it?
so what changes going from the left to the right side? Anything really?
Sometimes the blocking scheme does change, but it really is just like the opposite.
It just depends on which way the play's coming to you now instead of away.
Yeah.
Things like that. Pass block or run block? What's your favorite to do?
That's hard. I mean, pass block really for right now. I just kind of sit there since it's a 3-man front. I'll just watch for a backer or if Sid or Adam needs help. But if I had to choose, I'll probably choose run block because I could be more aggressive on that one.
You can get out and get ahead of steam and hit somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're getting into a situation Friday night where it's 2nd and goal from the 2 and we need to score, what's the play y'all would like to see called?
QB sneak.
QB sneak for sure. Yeah.
The what?
QB sneak.
Right behind you guys.
Yeah.
Just try to push some,
That-
get
that's
some
probably one of our
leverage.
best plays.
Yeah.
Is there ever? Well, I'm sure there is, but is there ever a running play where, even if you're on the 50-yard line, is there one play to say, man, I hope we get this call because I'm going to get the pull, and I'm going to meet a linebacker in the middle of the hole, and I'm going to just blow him up.
Yeah, that'll be power left. Yeah, I love running power left.
So, you would pull.
I would pull.
So what are you looking for when you pull? Who are you looking for straight? The linebacker?
Yeah,
Is basically
linebacker.
going to be the one that's there.
Yeah, he'd be
Yeah.
looking for the play side linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, play side linebacker, and then if he isn't there, I just keep going. Like if he gets trapped in like a block or something, I'll just keep going. They'll follow me.
Hopefully you get the
Then
chance to
find
go
the
and
next
save
guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Get-
then go to the third level, get
Oh,
the
yeah.
safety.
Yeah.
What is during practice? What do you attribute to y'all's foot agility? What is the one drill that you really have to work on to get that first step or to get that explosion off the line?
Oh yeah, it will be what we start off on, which is bags. It's footwork.
How does
So bags is our footwork drill where we're stepping over the bags in different ways, and we do that about 4 times a day. Twice during the period in the middle of school, and then twice after school. So we're hitting that a lot, and that helps us a lot on keeping fast feet and always moving our feet.
so you're moving side to side and hopping?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
kinds,
Jump.
all
Oh,
kinds of
okay.
ways.
Are you
Yeah.
when that's happening? Are you engaged with
Like-
somebody?
At the end, you'll run off and you'll break down and act like you're going after a linebacker.
Yeah.
So you get to work that also at the
Oh,
end
wow.
of the bag.
So the first step is the most important one.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of
On
whether
it,
you're
yeah.
going forward or if you're taking a
On
step
any
back to
play.
Oh yeah,
pass block.
yeah. Any play, it would be
'Cause the
first,
first
step
step
is
can
always
also-
important.
And
first-
what do you contribute your hand movement to make sure that you don't get your hands out and grab a hold?
Just
What do you work on as far as that's concerned? What drill?
Well, we do this thing where we like kick and slide, and we punch the sled to keep our arms tight and tucked in, and then we just punch, and then we like keep going, and then go in. It's because we have a 7-man sled.
So would you say y'all work harder during practice than some of the skill position players?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So y'all are the ones that are sweating and
Oh, yeah.
they want to get in there first.
You
huh?
got to remember how
Yeah.
hard it is to move like when you're this big.
Yeah,
Well, and when you're but in reality, you're moving somebody that's probably bigger than you on the other side, so you got
Oh,
double
yes,
trouble.
definitely.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to make sure you can move, and then make sure you're moving the other
I have
guy
to
where
make
he don't
sure-
want to go.
I have to make sure I can move and that I'm strong.
Yeah.
Yep.
oh yeah. I definitely have to make sure I move. I'm like over 300.
Do you do any other sports?
I do field events for track.
Okay, like shot put, discus, that
Discus.
kind of thing. Yeah, that's
and
cool.
Then, that's the only thing I do.
And so you're a senior. So
I'm
No,
a
he's
junior.
you're a junior too.
Yeah.
I'm a senior.
You're
He's a
the
senior.
oh y'all you switched that up on me. I thought
Yeah,
y'all
they,
were the
no,
back.
they were aggravating.
Yeah, they were.
before
I
about
got
who
you.
was going to go first. and
I got you. I had it backwards then. All right. Well, anything?
I want to ask this young man: do you have any plans? What are your plans after high school?
I don't have any plans on college. School's just not really for me, and I'm I'm going to follow powerlifting more, and I'm actually looking into going into plumbing, so you can pay for that. And but I'm definitely going to be powerlifting outside of school for the rest of my life, or as long as I can powerlift physically.
Cool.
So
maybe we'll see him in one of the Olympics coming up, huh?
Maybe.
Never know. Well, guys, thanks. Good luck on Friday night, and hopefully we'll be saying the Panthers. Hopefully it'll be a win.
We'll bring the butter and the syrup. Y'all just
bring the pancakes.
Bring the pancakes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
And we're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back to wrap things up. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in just a moment.
Double T Outfitters offers deer, dove, turkey, quail, and exotic hunts in Southwest Texas on over 20,000 low-fenced acres. They facilitate professional guide services, lodging, and fantastic meals while providing the best in Southwest hunting. Contact Double T Outfitters to find out details about their current package hunts. Contact owner Brett Ferguson at 210-413-1597 or online at doubleThunting.com.
Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store. With 12 area locations, Valley Mart is always right around the corner. Fuel yourself and your vehicle with quality branded gas and diesel, snacks, and fountain drinks. Always convenient, well lit with clean restrooms. Valley Mart, family owned and operated since 1984, and a proud supporter of Medina Valley athletics and area youth sports for over 30 years.
Sammy's Restaurant and Habeas Alsatian Bakery, two legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Habeas Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Habeas Alsatian Bakery, online at habeasbakery.com. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home in Castroville, Texas, has been providing funeral services to families in the Medina Valley and surrounding areas for many generations. Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home is proud to support the broadcast by the Medina Valley Broadcast Network for the athletes and students participating in this event. Go Panthers! Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home, Castroville, Texas. You may view obituaries at Tandre, Tondre-Gwynn, Guinn.com, or visit the Facebook page of Tandre Gwynn Funeral Home to view funeral notices.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Welcome back to Sports for Supper. As we had the boys basketball on earlier this year as they're getting ready to start their season. They'll start their practices in 1 week. Coach Gallion in his second season here at Medina Valley.
The two lefties on.
Yep. Valdez and McCrae both were here. Point guard and shooting guard for the Panthers. And then Coach Chris was on here talking about the football game this Friday night against Lockhart. That game's in Lockhart. It's a 7 o'clock start. We'll be on around 6:45 here on the Medina Valley Broadcast Network. Also want to remind everybody that it is Parents' Night for volleyball this Friday night here at Medina Valley. That game will be here on MVBN2. And tune in and listen to that game. And Tuesday night they will be in Floresville to do that game as well. And those are usually around 6:30. They do it after the JV game's over.
And we're looking for sponsors again.
Oh,
so,
for basketball.
Yeah, advertising for basketball. So if anybody's interested in advertising for basketball season, please let us know. Shoot us a message.
And join us next week also on Sports for Supper. I believe we are going to have girls basketball on here next week.
Yeah, we'll have Coach Russell will be on with a couple of players. We'll have football on again, and I hope to have Coach Griggs and a couple of players also next week. So have a little bit longer show next week because they'll be getting close to playoff time then.
Whom it was confirmed after the 3-set sweep of Southwest that Medina Valley has clinched
A playoff,
playoff
spot.
spot.
Yeah, all 4 teams have clinched playoff spots in volleyball.
And that's the big game coming up next Tuesday when Medina Valley goes to Floresville, and you'll hear that on Medina Valley Broadcast Network. That game will be for
it should be
the third and fourth spots fighting it out.
But they got to take care of business this Friday.
Take care of exactly.
And the Panthers will travel to Lockhart Friday night to take on the Lions there. The first time they've been there in 3 years. They have a nice stadium up there. It's a nice field. A lot of room in the stands there. It's kind of a long drive up there, but we will have that game here on.
Go early and eat some barbecue.
Yep. We'll have it here on MVBN, Medina Valley Broadcast Network, and hopefully Medina Valley can turn it around. This is a game that very winnable game for the Panthers. You know, Lockhart is probably one of the, I don't want to say
not
bad,
upper echelon.
but not, yeah, exactly. They're not in the top 2 or in the district.
We've played the top 2 already.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, and they played this
Floresville might be up there
that's
too.
true. Floresville's going to have something to say about that, and Floresville may be better than Champion.
Yeah.
But Champion and Heights play this week.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That'll tell us a little bit about the district when those two play.
You'll get to learn a little bit about Floresville and Tivy. What we've seen,
that game's at Alamo Heights.
Even with the scores, we've seen that Kerrville Tivy has put up some points recently in district play, and so has Lockhart.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at the lowest scoring team in the district, it's
you're going to
Medina
have
Valley right now.
You're going to have at least one team in the playoffs from our district that's going to have 2 to 3 wins going into the playoffs. It could be Medina Valley, could be Kerrville Tivy. So who's it going to be? You know, that's gonna.
And then, like I say, it's a new season after that. So
right.
you get yourself in the playoffs, and as I mentioned, there's only one team that's going to win their last game, and that's going to be the state champion.
You know, the thing with the Panther football team right now is they got to find an identity. What are they going to lean on, you know, going forward? You know, you've got 3 games coming up. These are the 3 most winnable games that you're going to play in district. What is your identity with 3 games to go in the regular season? Are you a team that's going to line up and smash mouth? Are you going to be able to, you know, cut out the penalties and cut out the bad snaps and cut out all this stuff and find that identity moving forward and roll with it? Because, you know, the Panthers, if they can cut out all those mistakes, they can move the ball. And they proved that against, you know, the Alamo Heights defense, which is, like Coach Chris said, this same defense we're going to be seeing again this week with a nose guard, 3-man front. They can always screw those outside linebackers down to a 5-man front and make it hard on people. So what is our identity? Are we going to be able to line up and run the ball down somebody's throat? You know, Rash has done a good job running the ball. Guerrero has been a bright spot this year. Let's see what it is, and let's use it, and let's go forward, and let's go win some football games and get into the playoffs.
Let's build an identity Friday.
Yep, for sure, because, you know, we talked about the lowest scoring team. Medina Valley's only scored 20 points this season twice. That was the first game of the year and against Uvalde.
One thing, Jared, that you might want to – I'll mention. I don't think you want to mention it, but I'll mention it. I don't know it. I can't remember. I've been around a long time. Maury's been around longer. When was the last time that Medina Valley scored this few of points in a season? I mean, we're you know, they don't want to be in those kind of record books. So moving forward in the next 3 weeks, let's find a way to put some points on the board. And if you put points on the board, good things are going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's the main thing, is put some points up. And I think against a defense that has given up a lot of points this year in Lockhart, I think Medina Valley's got a chance to kind of get back on the right track here, put up some points, and say, look, we can do this. We can score points.
Well, basically, the everything in a nutshell, you still control your own destiny.
Yep.
You win out, you make the playoffs. You go 2 out of 3, you probably still make the playoffs. So everything's in front of you. Let's just finish.
You got to start now.
Let's just finish Friday.
Because if you lose to Lockhart's not going to be in the mix for a playoff spot. But if you lose this game to Lockhart, you are really fighting an uphill battle.
If you lose this game to Lockhart puts themselves back in the picture, and they play Kerrville Tivy and what happened to be Tivy. Lockhart's sitting in pretty good position.
Because right now they're in the same position Medina Valley's in.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. But you don't want to put it on yourself to, if you lose this game, you have got to win the next 2 games.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to.
what.
You don't want to have to back
You don't
yourself
want to get into a
that corner.
must-win. Well, as a matter of fact, the next 3 games are probably must-win
Yeah.
for the Panthers.
But that game will be at 7 o'clock in Lockhart. We'll be on the air at 6:45 airtime. And make sure to also tune in to the volleyball on Friday night with Parents' Night at home. I'd like to take the chance to thank all the sponsors, as always, to make it possible to bring you these broadcasts on Medina Valley Broadcast Network. And I'd like to also thank Sammy's Restaurant for letting us do these games here do these shows here on Wednesday night at Sammy. So we appreciate them a lot, and they take care of the players and stuff when they're here, and take care of us as well, and we appreciate that a lot. So for the Medina Valley Broadcast Network and Maury and Jeff, I'm Jared Lucky.